So we open with, if you ever come after me or my family, it will cost you a lot. Heather said, I'ma forgive you, but I don't trust you, Heifer. Well, I'm loyal. I'm a good friend. No, you're not. You can't even be a friend to your neck. So how you gonna be a friend to her? And also, Shannon, pulling out these weaponizing white woman tears doesn't matter when you have cheap makeup and turn raccoon. So they gon' pinky swear on it, giving me notes of the friendship contract between Nene and Cynthia. However, Heather wants her to apologize to the husband. I don't know, I feel like Shannon's just gonna dig a deeper hole for herself. And you always mess up when you get the men involved. Fecal Badora gonna say she 57, girl, you ain't a day under 76. So she go on and apologize to the gay Robin Williams and everything's squashed. Her man says, were they gracious? And Heather says, well, Terry was, but Heather... And Fecal Badora says, well, Terry was, but you know Heather told me if I do this again. Well, forewarned, forearmed. Stop farting with people's families. Nobody's talking about your family or your house. I guess because there ain't nothing to talk about. Then again, we can't talk about your husband because you don't have one. So she gives him the fake tears and now he's upset and feels the need to tussle over his turtle. Oh, but Jennifer's upset that Noella's being snaughter. No, you're upset with your mama. That's who you upset with. Noella isn't not speaking to you. She's just talking to someone else. But this is just a prime example of white women's self-centered behavior. And to push the envelope even further, you know this heifer's going through a divorce and is broke as a he-hank, but you gonna pull her over and say, I feel like there's a tension between us. I know you're going through a lot. Then leave her alone and let her drink in peace. The way Noella said, okay, when Jennifer said she didn't want anything with her, the hood popped out. I don't know if I've done something to you, but if there's anything I can do to make it right, I'd like to. Noella looked at her and said, how many times have we met each other? What do you think you've done? She's pulling a Nene Leakes. I met you once. I knew of you. Noella said, you know what? You did do something that I thought was weird. You posted a picture of yourself, badly lit, and thanked your patients and tagged me in it. Heifer, I ain't got near one of your needles. And that was a breach of my contract because I exclusively work with a more superior spa. So I had to pull down your post before they cut my coin. I get energy from you that you're a little thirsty. Noella said, I'm not just call it, but dial it direct. That was person to person. Jennifer says, I don't remember tagging you. And Noella's like, who tagged somebody they met twice in a photo? And a bad photo at that. I mean, she looks just as harsh on camera, so I'm not surprised. Noella is paying her dust like a flea. I'm good. Go ask Shittin' Badora for your relevancy, cause I ain't got a plot line for you. Well, you said your God is Tom Ford, and I found that very offensive. You are grasping at literal straws. Actually, the straw dust. So Jen walks off and Heather comes up. Are you okay? Noella literally just went off on me. Ooh, it is white tears night on Housewives of OC. Lord, but Noella, you gonna lose running over to shit and telling her about that photo. However, Heather tells Jennifer, you know, she says some shit about me. I just let it ride and let it slide. So Noella says, you know what, Heifer, if you wanted a moment, baby, you've got it. She saunters back over and says, you told me I insulted your religion because I said Tom Ford is my God. That is ridiculous. And it is. Noella says, I just had the worst week of my life, and Jennifer gonna say, well, I was trying to reach out to you. No, you wasn't, Heifer. You were trying to pick a fight and have a moment. So Heather comes back over. We can't do this right here. This is Shane's night. Noella says, well, you know, Jennifer, you're a rude little girl. She had that one waiting in her back pocket. You're a rude one, Mrs. Grinch. Your actions foul and stench. You're a succubus, a concubine, a traitor, and a hoe, Mrs. Rude. Thanks, Noella. A true inspirere. This is why I call you Fecal Badora. because you did not just pick up whatever that was and then put it down with your nasty hands that just been touching the door. So we all finally sitting down to dinner, and Shitten whispers to Noelle that Heather is avoiding her. Well, girl, you've done the apology tour 2.0. Heather is not avoiding you. Y'all literally just sat down and had an apology session. Let the moment settle, for one, and two, the world does not revolve around you. Just because these heifers have a 5-minute conversation with somebody else does not mean they ain't gonna track up your twat yet again. This heifer was talking to you 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes! She's ignoring me. I didn't know she was your date to the party. So Heather invites Gina and her man down to the track, and Shitten ain't gonna like that. You gonna ask Shitten Bador if she gonna belly dance. You know turtles have a hard belly plate. And you know a plate can't gyrate. Shitten Bador, we don't care about your cat daddy. How your kids not know about the Rat Pack and Dean Martin coming from California? All they teach is white history out here. Now, Heather Dubrow's daughter seems very impressive. A book about being a teenager in the 21st century. Okay, writing what you know. You're using the Bravo platform, and it definitely seems like a lot more effort was put into this book than Brooke Marx's tracksuits. So Noella and Shitten get together for some Reiki healing, which Shitten definitely needs, and they complain about the party. I'm with Noella on Jennifer tried it, but Heather denied it. Sadly, Noella's taking fecal side, saying, I see that Heather's manipulative. No, Shitten's manipulative, but you gonna learn, cause a hard head make a soft ass. So now Jen's having some of the heifers over for wine and cheese. I don't want to eat nothing that comes out of your suitcase unless you've been on a trip. But girl, you think, oh, I couldn't make friends with my employees, so now I'm going to make real friends on a reality show? You may be a doctor, but you stupid. And Noella is the topic du jour. Emily is confused about Noella. And Jen said, oh, well, I was called thirsty and irrelevant. Gina said, did she really say that? That Unique New York came out. Now Jen's saying, I don't know if she's married or not married. You've met her twice. How could you? Were they really married? She said that they weren't married or they were waiting for a divorce. I don't know. It was complicated. Everybody else is like, ain't nobody wasting money on a lawyer to file for divorce when you ain't married, unless your name is Kenya Moore. None of the heifers want to go with Jen on that one, but she trying to drag them along. Emily sees through the shit. You've been picking at Noelle since day one. You just hate the heifer. Oh God, now we've got from a doctor's perspective. She's not stable, she needs help, I think she needs professional help, so you gonna diagnose on TV. Emily said, I think we just need to have a chat with her. Jen really gonna say, oh, she's too far for a conversation, she's heading down a destructive path. You gonna eat your words, heifer, you gonna end up sued for defamation. However, at the racetrack, Heather and Gina are talking about the fact that Noella called Heather a phony bitch. And Gina said she also warned me to be careful around you, that you could be an op. Heather's like, you fawn all over my daughter, I ain't run over your cat. Why you mad, heifer? Save that shit for Sweet James. Gina says the same thing that Jen says. Noella's just brashy. I don't want to be collateral damage to her problems. She's a bomb that is gonna detonate. Jen was able to get somebody to carry that bone. How Lisa Vanderpump of her. So Emily come over to Noella's and she's got to whisper because she's upset. Oh, Lord. I'm kind of rooting for you. Shit like this ain't helping. So Noella say she loves her man, but she'd be a fool if she let him back. Girl, I've been through the same thing. James done tricked her butt to get served by sending flowers. That's shiesty. Heather said, well, let me tell you, Jen said your marriage wasn't real. So I'm glad I cleared that up. You was actually married. He had to get his separate finished. But you're like, look, we've got a 2-year-old. We've been living together for 6 years. Heather says, so they trying to paint Noella as a fake and a phony, but she ain't. Divorce is real, even though her man is Kenya Moore invisible. Noella says, I think Jen is simply inauthentic. Heather says, maybe she's just clinical. No, she fake. She California fake. And a thirsty churchy. That might be Jen's name, the thirsty churchy. So they throw out the shitty flowers that Sweet James sent, and that was the shit. I'll see you soon for love and hip hop.